Channel 10 and Paramount Plus, the 68th instalment of Adelaide United versus Melbourne Victory from a sold-out Coopers Stadium on Bunurong and Wadawurrung land. These two proud former champions looking for crucial points as they look to climb back in to finals positions. It's a magnificent sight. Hindmarsh Stadium, Coopers, in its modern iteration, recently refurbished for the Women's World Cup and regularly named the best stadium for playing football in the country. Well, what better place for one of the biggest fixtures in the country. Adelaide crowds are back as we see the two sides in the Isuzu UTE tunnel camp. And a special evening for Nishan Velupillay, wearing the captain's armband for the first time at the place where he scored his first ever Melbourne Victory goal. The win probability says this one, like every A-League match it would appear this season, is too tight to call. What we can tell you is that Melbourne Victory have dominated this one in recent seasons. They've won 4 of the last 5. They've won the last 2, both in Melbourne. Adelaide's only win, well, it came last time here. There have been plenty of goals scored in this fixture of late as well, as this evening these two sides play for the Pride Cup for the 4th year in a row. Let's have a look at how they line up. 2 changes for Ayrton Andrioli, one at the back where the Dutchman Bart Vriends returns after a month out. The midfield is unchanged. The other change is up front where the new signing Ajak Riak gets his first start since signing for the club just earlier this week. It's Juan Muñiz, the Spaniard, who goes to the bench. The trio of Yaya Dakuli, Ethan Aligic and Luka Jovanovic are into the quarterfinals of the Under-23 Asian Cup, so missing again this evening. For Melbourne Victory, Arthur Dillis, he's been forced into just one change, and that comes in defence where the Socceroo, Jason Davidson, picked up his 5th yellow card of the season last weekend in the 1-0 loss to the Wanderers. So Lockie Jackson returns, his first appearance since that 2-1 win over Adelaide last month. Jack Wachowski also continues between the posts with Jack Duncan following concussion protocol for another weekend. At the other end, Juan Mata will be looking to reignite that Victory attack after a subdued performance against his former club, the Wanderers, last weekend. There is Ayrton Andrioli, the Brazilian coach, 60 years of age. He's done a wonderful job so far this season. Still perhaps looking for the consistency, but we have seen from him, turning back the clock, a couple of sprints down to the corner flag to accompany last-minute winners from his side at home this term as well. There is Arthur Dillis, a man that came under a lot of criticism during the first couple of months of the season for his misfiring Melbourne Victory. They have responded, going 5 games unbeaten, including 4 straight wins before that defeat last weekend against Western Sydney. Our referee is Lachlan Keevers. He is being assisted by Ashley Beecham and Henry Day running the line. Daniel Cook is the 4th official, while in the VAR room it is Daniel Elder and Sean Evans. Kikianis, one of those players who could have been away with the young Socceroos, the Under-23s, the Olyroos at the Asian Cup, but coach Tony Vidmar deciding to just take 3 Adelaide players, feeling it wouldn't be fair to take any more from the side, but Kikianis is a massive player in the heart of defence for this home team. Gracing Coopers Stadium for the first time, the 26-year-old Ajak Riak, born in Kenya, a South Sudan international. He grew up in Western Australia, most recently played in Australia for South Melbourne, before heading to Indonesia, then Moldova, and most recently Uzbekistan. He plays for the first time in the A-League this evening. 24-year-old Louis Dorigo, well, he played 106 matches in all competitions, scoring 5 goals for Adelaide. He was outstanding in midfield earlier this season against his former club in Melbourne. Now he's back home in front of his former fans in opposition colours. The stage is set, a full house at Coopers Stadium. For those Adelaide fans, this is the biggest match of the season, bar none. A fixture steeped in history, steeped in passion, and for the most part, for Adelaide fans, accompanied with a strong sense of revenge, dating all the way back to those early days of the Isuzu UTE A-League competition. Andy Harper this evening, when you look at what it means to the travelling support as well, who have come in such numbers, this really is one of the jewels in the crown of the A-League.
Good evening, Robbie, and to all our cherished viewers through the 10 network and the Paramount Plus platform. Well, Bart Green's on return to the team, making his first statement with 6 studs up the backside of Nikos Virgos. And Robbie, I guess history's on the line tonight. Is this going to be the first, certainly in my memory, the first original rivalry match at Coopers which doesn't live up to the billing? This is clearly and easily the most consistent big game we have on the roster. It never disappoints here at Coopers. And the new big fella up front, Ajak Riak. Let's see some sparks fly there, get things going here at Coopers. I've got the clock on it, and I don't think it's going to take long.
Kikianis, as Nikos Virgos comes in for a little bit more treatment from the Adelaide back line. They've both had a nibble at the Greek centre-forward for Melbourne victory. First Bart Breens and then Pana Kikianis. Here's Adama Traore, his 3rd appearance in a row. The veteran Ivorian back at left back in the absence of Jason Davidson and Roderick Miranda, who is also missing for this Melbourne victory side. Josh Rawlins is away with the under-23s, as is Jordi Valadon. Otherwise, they have welcomed back Reno Piscopo to the bench. Last weekend, he made his first appearance of the season. And he starts on the bench again this evening as Ryan White. It's picked off by Denny Genreau. He's taking a risk there, Ryan White, who's playing alongside Luke Giselle in the middle of the park. Johnny Yull wide on this right-hand side. Craig Goodwin on the left, but we can expect him to come centrally. The Brazilian Anselmo up front, and Ajak Riak looking to release Anselmo. He's got the better of Josh Insera. Not once, but twice. Insera reacted well. Now Goodwin into the area, and it's Nishan Velupillay, but only momentarily. Here come Adelaide again. Anselmo looking to fire the shot off. It's blocked by Lockie Jackson. Bright start in front of a expectant home crowd at Hindmarsh. Juan Mata's first touch.
Well, his first 2 really meaningful contributions. Ajak Riak set the attack away in the first place and then kept it going after Craig Goodwin just hesitated in possession. He took an extra touch when he had a really good support player in a shooting position on the edge of the box, but Ajak Riak then threw himself back into the mix. Adelaide got another chance, and the first early blows landed by Adelaide.
Anselmo, it's a lovely touch again to cushion the ball control. Here's Ajak Riak, who's been on something of a world tour. A professional career that took a little bit of time to get going. He's been to Indonesia, played European UEFA club competition football with Sheriff Tiraspol in Moldova before heading to Uzbekistan last season. Before this A-League contract in Australia, he was playing NPL football in Western Australia and then Victoria. Genreau pouncing on another loose pass at the back, and Santos Showing a clean pair of heels to midfield until he met Bart Breens. There's plenty of noise coming from the Red Army behind the goal there that Melbourne Victory are attacking. Mata, the former Valencia starlet that went on to win the Champions League with Chelsea. Dorigo, first sighter for the former Adelaide boy.
Well, he's made a big impact since returning to the team. A late pre-season injury. He and Nish Valupale returning at a similar time and really providing an injection for Melbourne Victory, which has totally changed the complexion of their season in a positive sense.
He's actually injured in the game against Adelaide just before the start of the season. Here's Johnny Yull, look at the run from Goodwin. Is this the moment for that left foot? Craig Goodwin comes inside, still going, lifts it into the back of the net. Big games call for big players, and at Adelaide United they don't come any bigger. Craig Goodwin, classy finish on the big stage. Adelaide lead by a goal to nil.
Well, hasn't that set this one up early on the Harvey Norman replay? And Jonro just overcooking things. Is a lovely ball to split the field completely from Johnny Yull. And Craig Goodwin's first touch was really positive, and then he got into a bit of hot water, and he needed a little bit, not a little bit, actually a lot of magic to get out of this one. It's a lovely finish from Craig Goodwin, who's had a big week on behalf of the club, and he's set things going here at Cooper's. 6 minutes in, a bright start from Adelaide, and a classy finish from their leading light to give the home team the lead.
Well, you'd say it's a Craig Goodwin special, except he's got such a large repertoire. It is one of the Craig Goodwin specials. That ability, under intense pressure, to just be able to lift the ball over the advancing goalkeeper, having put it through the legs of Seb Esposito, who was chasing back. But Victory were unpicked there. He had far too much time and space. Josh Insera had gone adventuring forward, and now they come again. Anselmo, the cross. Riak was in the middle, couldn't get there. Santos gives it straight back to Ryan White. Jay Barnett, the former Victory player, is at right back this evening for Adelaide. He's reinvented himself this season, first as a centre-back in the absence of Bart Breens, and then as a right-back in recent weeks after the injury to Dylan Parias. Duzel, another Melbourne boy in this Adelaide team. Here's Virgos. First chance for him. It's not a bad ball, just overhit, running away from Nishan Valupale. Captain's armband, the Pride Cup armband, being sported by both captains this evening, in a special moment for Nishan Valupale. In the absence of Roderick Miranda, it's he that gets the nod. Scored his first ever A-League goal. It was here, and he ran to the Melbourne Victory fans. He used to be on those terraces supporting the club. It was 4 years ago now. This evening he returns as captain of his side and full senior Socceroo, who will be hoping to head to the World Cup in 6 months' time. Johnny Yull again finding Craig Goodwin. Overlapping run from Ryan Kitto. Valupale looking for a push. Perhaps there was just enough contact.
Yeah, just got a little bit messy there from Ryan Kitto. It was a good recovery run from Nishan Valupale. Good combination. Looked like it had a little bit of potential there, and not enough in it, but certainly a foul. Not a lot, rather, but certainly a foul. exuberant Ryan Kitto, who himself needs a big game tonight. Been a bit quiet. He's had such a big impact at this club over a number of years. Just a little bit quiet in recent weeks. He and Craig Goodwin have had a lot asked of them.
Ajak Riak being held there. The crowd didn't like it by Lockie Jackson. He's approaching 250 appearances for the club, Ryan Kitto. One of the experienced heads. He was captain last season, of course, with Craig Goodwin away in Saudi Arabia. Now Anselmo has stayed down after contact there.
Well, it was Lockie Jackson who was using Anselmo as a little bit of a stepladder. I thought it might have been a foul. To get up, here's the challenge. Just very strong from Lockie Jackson. Lockie keeper's decided, well, you can cope with that level of contact, that's fine. It's going to be a throw-in to Victory.
Melbourne Victory have come from behind to win this season. Wasn't too long ago against Perth Glory at Amy Park. But this Adelaide side are quite a different proposition when they get their noses in front, particularly here at home. They're looking for their 5th win in 7 matches at Coopers Stadium this season. Far cry from their trials and tribulations at home last term. Valupale. Well, he was unselfish. Perhaps he could have been more selfish.
Or better with the pass, actually. Ryan Kitto got himself in knots. It was a nice movement, actually, from Victory to get Valupale in behind. Kitto played out of position, and then the pass behind Vergos. Corner resulting.
First one of the evening for Juan Mata, who looks deep to the back post. Valupale gets the touch. The overhead, brilliant save. Fantastic from Josh Smits. The Dutch goalkeeper flying away to his left. That's another great save. We've already seen a few from him this season.
Yeah, he's been a great acquisition, and this is from a very unlikely source. Not the goalkeeper, the overhead. Lockie Jackson, if you don't mind. Somehow contriving to contort his 6'3" frame to get that very spectacular effort in on goal and forcing an excellent save from Smits.
Well, perhaps we've been looking in the wrong place to end their scoring drought. Looking at the forwards and the creative players. It's the enforcer at the back that went close. Now Goodwin. He's got Johnny Yull at the back post, but nobody else. So he plays the percentages and comes back. Kikianis with Giselle. And Kikianis again. Does have a good long ball on him. Kikianis, he has an eye for a pass. He's the most touches, the most passes in this Adelaide side this season. We have 2 of the teams that like to pass the ball around the most, so it should be a really good contest for midfield domination. Barnett with Freens and all the way back to Smits. Kikianis turns away from Mata. Looks up towards Riak. Now Valupale. With Mata. Dorigo. He was everywhere in the first game between these two this season. Louis Dorigo went close to opening the scoring. Valupale for Vergos. It was Nikos Vergos that ended his own personal goal drought, as well as that of his team, with his first 2 goals of the season against Adelaide. Johnny Yull, another that could have been in that under-23 side. There's no shortage of them at Adelaide. Barnett now. Ryan White, well read by Mata. Jonro, Vergos, Mata again. Space here for Dorigo. And now Josh Insera. They've worked this well, Melbourne Victory. They've looked good since conceding. Insera in towards Mata. And again, Adelaide defends strongly. Massive duel at the back there between Riak and Jackson. Two big frames. No foul. Juan Mata thought there was. Referee Lachlan Keevers saw nothing wrong. Johnny Yull with Riak. It was Esposito that got the better of him that time. Louis Dorigo flying through dangerously.
Well, he is incredibly combative, Louis Dorigo, and he's taken this snapshot already, that every time the ball's gone past me into Jack Riak, we've had a little bit of difficulty physically hanging on to him. First chance he's had to try and square the ledger, I reckon that's the background to him flying into that challenge. He's certainly been impressive in that very raw sense, Jack Riak, to get things going here.
Traore did that well, but he's drawn the foul from Luke Dezelle. 50th match of his A-League career for Luke Dezelle this evening. Got his first goal last weekend against Wellington Phoenix, and it was some way to open your account as well.
Bruce Jitte, I think, very accurately referred to that pre-game show. You can hit the ball that well. We've seen so many good bits of football from Luke Dezelle. Then he scores one like that, and you just wonder why there haven't been more.
Well, we saw one earlier, about the second minute here as well, that flew just wide. Now he's giving the signal. He steps over. Mata delivers. Good ball as well. Burgos looking to continue his good scoring form against Adelaide. Not only did he get a double against them earlier this year, he got a double against them last season in a 5-3 victory in Melbourne, and he also scored in each of the friendly matches just before the start of this campaign. So if there's a team he knows he can score against, he's got 4 in the A-League against them. Dezelle turns, and it's Burgos that wins it back. Valupale wanted it, takes a little time, he almost found him. Valupale bundles Barnett away, the cutback. Dezelle in the right place. Ryan White's header. Oh, Craig Goodwin, has he been caught there by Louis Dorigo? Referee says yes.
Decision which brings an extra loud cheer from the Adelaide fans. Louis Dorigo, whose senior career really kick-started when Isaias moved to the Gulf for a short spell. Jan Verbeek was the coach and threw him in. His senior career really got going, and he hasn't often missed a beat. He was excellent in those early stages, which built the opportunity for him to be identified by an overseas move, and now he finds himself back. More of the finished product, and certainly a very gnarly defender with a lot of other qualities. There's some of it there.
And now Burgos onto the right boot. Can't hit the target. It was Dorigo with that early pass forward.
Huge chance. Huge chance for Nikos Burgos, who alleviated a lot of the pressure and focus on him with the goal-scoring exploits. And it's Dorigo reading nicely, beautifully cushioned first-time pass. Burgos quite simply needs to make more of that.
There is Isaias alongside Ayrton Andrioli. Adelaide's all-time leading appearance maker, the Spaniard. Issa on the bench these days alongside Ayrton Andrioli. Here's Goodwin. Almost seems destined in the future, not yet, but for a place on that bench at some point, Craig Goodwin. So much do they bring through former players as assistant coaches and keep that line, that lineage running through the club. Barnett with Vreens. Just signed a new contract, Bart Vreens. Keep him here for a couple more seasons. Esposito.
Bart Vreens' dad's in the house today. First time he's seen him play outside of his native country, the Netherlands. So it's a big family moment for Vreens. He's been very energetic to start the game and his return to the team after that injury.
Played most of his career for Sparta Rotterdam, where he played alongside a certain Craig Goodwin when they were a few years younger, shall we say. There's Vreens again, back to his compatriot Josh Smits. Long for Goodwin again, who's got another teammate from overseas jaunt there with him. The flag's up for offside. Goodwin doesn't like it.
No, I don't think he was, you know. Ajak Riak certainly was offside, but didn't interfere with play. Craig Goodwin still gesticulating.
Didn't like that call at all. It's Anselmo, the player he played with at Alwada in his first stint there. Valupale. Strong from Kitto and Vreens. And a foul on Johnny Yull.
But this is a good period for victory. I think you've already made the point, Robbie, and I think quite accurately. Since going behind, they've had, and there's Craig Goodwin right on the far touchline. Maybe.
Well, looks offside.
Yeah. Ashley Beecham. AR1.
Perhaps he thought he was in his own half. It was really a vociferous response.
He clearly thought he was onside, yeah. It's been a good response from victory. Adelaide just looking a little brittle as they play the ball out. They look much more dangerous if they get the ball forward quickly. Like this. Good interception from Lockie Jackson.
He's got something of a point to prove, Lockie Jackson, this evening. Dumped out of the side for the youngster Esposito, alongside Roderick Miranda after that first Melbourne derby defeat of the season. Here is Seb Esposito. Long ball, Virgos. Just levered out of it by Bart Vreens. Good defending. These two sides boast the top two assist providers in the A-League this season, but Yaya Dakouli is away with the under-23 Olyroos. He actually scored the winning goal, the equaliser, against Iraq that kept their qualification hopes alive. And here is Johnny Yull outside for Anselmo. His cross deflects off Traore, headed by Esposito. Ryan White. Johnny Yull couldn't reach it, not against the towering Lockie Jackson. And now look at the space here for Valupale. They've been caught out here, short at the back. Vreens across in cover, and brilliantly so.
And as much as anything, that's a fantastic fitness test for Bart Vreens. He had to make up a lot of ground and did so very efficiently.
Here they come again, though. Melbourne victory. They're certainly looking up for this contest in front of what looks to be probably about 500 travelling supporters, you'd think, for them this evening at Cooper's. Fantastic. Only football does that in this country. Brings those travelling supporters banded together in one corner of the stadium. Here's Mata. It's well worked with Genro. Juan Mata. And it's Vreens again. Now Genro back in. Anselmo poor touch, but it falls kindly for Ajak Riak. Played 13 times for South Sudan in their World Cup and AFCON qualifiers. A country that's only been playing football independently since 2014. Kikianis over the top. Riak again involved in an off-the-ball tangle with Jackson. Yal, Goodwin trying to catch out. Jack Wachowski at his near post.
Well, didn't quite get it right that time, but he certainly did this, and needed to. He was looking like he was running out of space there, but he saw, and then with a delectable finish, completed the move to give Adelaide the lead. Separates the teams. And I think at this point, 25 in, 2 players in red of note so far. Bart Green's excellent on return, and Johnny Yull is a youngster who hasn't really put together a string of games, and we've all seen what great technique he's got. Beautiful footballer in promise, but his opening 25 minutes here has been outstanding. If he can do it well enough, long enough, and nail down a position, we could see anything with this kid. I just think he's got so much to offer, and there's a few in the Adelaide team at the moment. We say that every year, of course, but I think if he's going to be good enough, it's going to be based on earning consistent starts and building minutes. The rest will take care of itself for Johnny Yull.
He's still just 20 years of age as well, so we have been saying it for a couple of years. He scored his first ever goal against Melbourne Victory last season at Amy Park. And Selmo with the nod on towards Riak. Back in from Jackson. Virgos, Kikianis almost inviting the Victory striker to get in behind him there. Strong defending again from Jackson. Genre now. Virgos's touch is not the best. And Selmo can turn and face forward. Deceptively quick, the big Brazilian. Kikianis with Dizelle. Here is Bart Vreens. Both coaches out on the edge of their technical areas, pointing, gesticulating. It's a good ball for Johnny Yull. He gets there. Here's Ajak Riak with a great chance. His first in red colours. What an opportunity to open his account. And he couldn't take it.
Well, set up beautiful. The ball in behind for Yull, who then showed he's fast enough to make up the necessary ground, and the instinctive and well executed ball across the penalty area should have been finished by the debutant.
Esposito, Genre again, who's playing, well, it looks a lot of the time, that deepest midfield position. The former Melbourne City and Macarthur number 10, a Socceroo as well. So many players returning to the A-League for the second half of the season, hoping to catch the eye of the national team coach Tony Popovic. It's a long ball for Santos. Takes it first time with his head, and Barnett.
Has to be careful there, Jay Barnett.
There's a couple of words for Santos.
Well, he knows. You could see the ball coming over, and you could see in the look in Jay Barnett's eye, I've got to be on here, because if he gets the start on me, I'm not going to be able to catch him. So he positioned his body well. The option to pass back was good, and he was really walking a thin line thereafter. Santos not demonstrating too profoundly that the contact was egregious. Lockie Keevers, the referee, has been excellent to start this as well. Says we'll just get on with it here.
Genre, nice little feint with the body to find space against White. In Sarah, Mata closed down so quickly by Kitto. Riak again, bundled off the ball, that time by Esposito. Genro with Insera. Crosses with the left, beyond everyone. Claimed by Josh Smith. Let's go down sideline with Max Burford. Max.
Evening, gentlemen. Evening, everyone. What a picture-perfect night for football here. It would be remiss of me, as much as the Adelaide fans have sold out this beautiful venue, remiss of me not to mention the Melbourne Victory fans who have sold out 3 or 4 bays over there. They are loud, they're noisy, even though they're on the back foot early. What you notice down here, you mentioned Harps, Vreens and Jarl as 2 Adelaide boys that have impressed you. 2 more from the touchline. Anselmo, we know he's powerful, but he is deceptively quick, as you said, Robbie. And that's shown up a few times early. And Ajak Riak, the new boy, looks like he can hold his own in the weight room. Melbourne, they've probably been the better team in recent minutes. But those 2, they look like the sort of players that can just muscle their way into a chance out of nothing from touchline level.
Thank you, Max. And it might be remiss of us not to wish you a happy birthday as well from the commentary position.
Thank you, mate. 21 today.
Dog years or what?
I would say something about the amount of hair we have between us, Harps, but as I said to Tara pre-game, I'm being nice in 2026.
More power to you, Max. Here is Adelaide back on the front foot. Johnny Jarl, nice exchange with Riak. Here's Goodwin. Comes inside onto the right, this time deflected and off the post. So close. Craig Goodwin to his second. Adelaide, they had a 2-goal lead last weekend against Wellington that they couldn't hold on to. They were so close to re-establishing that lead here against Victory, and it might well have been a different story. And again, Johnny Jarl, Riak and Goodwin all involved. Barnett up the line, one for Riak to chase. Esposito well across in cover.
Well, as well as Victory have looked generally, the big chances have actually gone to Adelaide. That hit the post off the deflection, as we saw. We haven't quite seen how Ajak Riak missed his chance, put on by Johnny Jarl, including those to the goal that actually Craig Goodwin did score. And as good as the moments have been for Victory, it's Adelaide with the chances.
And there might be another one brewing here. Goodwin. Again, he just turned into trouble. You could hear the cries from the crowd. He is, certainly since Isaias took his retirement at the end of last season, by far the most recognisable Adelaide player, Craig Goodwin. It's a good run from Kitto, who gets there. Turning back the clock a little bit himself, Ryan Kitto.
Oh, he did very well in the end. He just had a little bit too much pepper on it, this, from Craig Goodwin. By which I mean it didn't give Ryan Kitto the chance actually to get there in time and maybe set up a more telling contribution. He was doing everything he could and succeeded in just keeping the action live. Still thereafter asking Victory to come up with a solution, which they did. It wasn't a terribly taxing clearance that was required, and that's the point. More might have come from that with the opening that was offered.
Well, it has been a typically tight opening 33 minutes of this original rivalry match, the 68th between these two sides. They have played each other more than they have played anybody else. It is the most played fixture in the history of the A-League between these two foundation teams, because they've met in finals more than any other sides as well. You can even throw in a few cup games, and of course those famous finals matches we heard about, and what really the fans' rivalry has been built on. For the moment, it's the Adelaide fans that are singing loudest. But Melbourne Victory have had the last laugh in recent encounters between these two. Mata on the receiving end, the World Cup winner. too much wrong with
I
that.
don't know any player watching that could hand on heart say that's not a challenge I would have made. And Juan Mata wouldn't have expected anything less.
Yeah, it's an Andrioli. He's a passionate man, but I haven't seen him have a Carl Viet moment until just then. He was up on his feet.
Might have about had another one, Max, just there. He didn't like that. Well, you can't be at Adelaide without knowing to have your odd Carl Viet moment. I think it was a fixture on the bench for so many years. Great coach who's doing good work with the young youth national teams at the moment. Here's Johnny Yull. Does well again, Johnny Yull. Little touch for Riak. Looking for Kitto. Had to find the angle first, and then Ryan Kitto not reading the situation at all. Jack Wachowski playing just his second A-League match into the cauldron of an original rivalry game. Australian youth international himself. Just 21 years of age. Former Central Coast Mariner. There is the mild-mannered Ayrton Andrioli. Traore, it's a good challenge by Anselmo. They thought they perhaps could have had the throw there. The Reds, Mata. Ball not getting out far at the moment. Central Coast Mariners, they were meant to be kicking off just an hour and a half ago, but torrential rain on the Central Coast has seen that one rescheduled to tomorrow afternoon, 1:55 on Paramount Plus, so don't miss that. It's to be followed by the final match of the round, 5 p.m. Sydney time, as Sydney FC take on Wellington Phoenix back at Allianz Stadium tomorrow afternoon. Virgos decides to head back to give victory some space and some air. Now Velupale goes without it. Kitto. Anselmo. Ryan White. Barnett for Johnny Yull again, as well read by Adama Traore. Barnett has to be careful because Santos is quick, but he's doing a good job at the moment on the Brazilian. Duzel. Good awareness, finds Kitto. Here's Goodwin. Anselmo at the back post. Goodwin goes looking for him. And now Johnny Yull keeps it alive for the Reds. Against Santos again. He's got two great feet, Johnny Yull, so you can't commit to one or the other.
Well, the problem, if Melbourne Victory have a clear problem at the moment. If they're not winning the ball on the press, and they've done that very effectively from time to time, but if that's not working, they find it really difficult to close the field up after that. Adelaide get through that press, they turn around. That's why from time to time the Reds would be better served just going a little bit more direct at times, because they've pretty much won those contests when they open up the field. Quite how Dillis gets his team after the press has been breached to then close the field up is a real challenge for him. Johnny Yull, ball in space. Craig Goodwin, ball in space. Really tough to blunt Adelaide from there.
Kitto almost got past Dorigo. He keeps it alive. Ryan White had a look but couldn't see an option. Now Goodwin again. Turn behind. So another corner coming, the first of the evening for Adelaide.
It's out beautifully by Luke Duzel. What a lovely pass. Unremarkable in many instances, just weighted perfectly, split victory. And Craig Goodwin, I'm going to imagine would have expected more of himself to find a solution. They've got the corner out of it, so all not lost for Adelaide.
Right down there in front of those travelling Melbourne Victory fans. Craig Goodwin, who of course made his A-League debut at Melbourne Heart. That shared Amy Park with Melbourne Victory. Here it is. Ball in from Goodwin, the header. And Selmo again, using that power.
Ball in from Goodwin, and Selmo getting the space and the angle, not the power. Doesn't time change a lot of things for certain people. Craig Goodwin, you're recalling that Melbourne Heart history, was also doubling up as a part-time KFC kid. Not any longer. A couple of moves to Saudi, World Cup appearance will change all that.
A couple of World Cup goals.
Yes.
Against France and Argentina, no less. Probably doesn't even eat KFC anymore. Oof. Again, the tackles go flying in, and the referee had a good long look at it. It's gone against Ryan White. In fact, it's gone against Ryan Kitto.
Yeah.
Victory with the ball again. Possession very even between these two. Dorigo, Juan Mata, almost always one touch of the ball before he gets into those wide final third positions, when he can look up and have a look, take stock of where he is. Moving across the full front of the attack again. Barnett's doing a great job on Santos, but the Brazilian picks up possession again. Here's Traore. Jackson. Well, he was being told where to get that pass. Through pure perseverance and commitment, he's managed to win it back for Victory. Santos's cross. Kikianis clears. Jonro with the follow-up. He'll get a second chance. Goes looking for Virgos. Jackson was a little bit lucky. Again, Lachlan Keever says no free kick. Adelaide don't like it. Jonro, the little one too, looking for Valupale still. Traore, that's nice football. The 1-2 again, Jonro. Ball in, Valupale. Mata's been flattened on the edge of the area. More urgency about Melbourne Victory at the moment. Just 2 minutes to go in first half regulation time. Juan Mata. Dorigo. Adelaide trying to hold on. It was a Louis Dorigo goal in first half stoppage time that got them back in the game against Perth a couple of weeks ago in a very similar situation.
It's a great little passage from Victory to sum up where they're at this evening. So a lot of well-contested possession won, good intercepts, some nice interchange. Adama Traore getting on the deep side of the furthest right Adelaide defender to deliver the ball, nothing at the end of it. Smits has made one save off Lockie Jackson from the overhead, spectacular save, excellent effort. Hasn't been asked any questions since. Victory haven't been able to translate anything otherwise through the Adelaide defence, led by Greens, which has been fantastic so far this evening.
Free kick goes Adelaide's way, the foul by Louis Dorigo. Big shirt pull. Valupale. Then Dorigo arrived on the scene. AFC Women's Asian Cup is coming up in just over a month's time. Kitto. Now, the overhead kick from Ajak Riak. And he's had a couple of little glimpses at goal. The first, perhaps a little bit more than that.
Oh, this is excellent work from Ryan Kitto. The chest control, don't quite get it. And then the reaction from Riak. Would have brought the house down. Certainly was appreciated by the very, very healthy attendance here at this beautiful Adelaide night.
Shorski long. Only found the head of the Adelaide number 44, but Nishan Velupillay will keep it in. Well, victory. They went for a long, long period without a goal, 4 entire matches. Over 6 hours of football. Earlier this season, they then scored 11 goals in 4. Arthur Dillis had always said the floodgates are going to open at some point. Look out, here's Velupillay. That's just about their best sighting at goal they've had.
Yeah, you're right. Keeping in mind that Lockie Jackson couldn't sight the goal when he did his overhead. But again, they're just making a meal of this Adelaide. And this is better from Victory. Quite getting hold of the shot. Would have finished the half level pegging. As it is, Robbie, it's Adelaide with the lead.
Very close to replicating exactly what happened at home to Perth a couple of weeks ago. But this time, Adelaide, despite being on the ropes in those final moments of the first half, they managed to hold on. Craig Goodwin still not happy about that offside call. He'll talk a little differently when he sees the replay, perhaps. But a good half of football in this original rivalry clash. Craig Goodwin with an absolute jewel of a goal after just 6 minutes. He hit the post as well. Josh Smits made a great save to deny Lockie Jackson, and that's the story at the break. Adelaide 1, Melbourne Victory 0. We'll head off to a very quick break. Stay with us. Tara, Archie and Bruce will be back with the halftime show. Welcome back to Cooper's Stadium for the second half of the 68th edition of the original rivalry. Craig Goodwin's goal separates the two sides that arrived in just the 6th minute. Adelaide's 19th goal of the season. And for the moment, toothless victory, that rather unwanted moniker, is back again. Juan Mata, the Spanish World Cup and Euro winner, will be looking to lift his side, but for the moment it's the Red Army that are all smiles. No changes to either side at the half-time break either. It was a warm day in Adelaide. It's a sellout crowd, absolutely perfect conditions to watch football, and these two sides have been putting on a real titanic midfield battle so far. It's Melbourne Victory chasing the game. Melbourne Victory looking to avoid a second straight defeat that would see them drop back down to 8th place in the standings. At the moment, it's Ayrton Andrioli's Reds who have climbed back up to 6th spot on the standings with the 3 points that they currently have, courtesy of Goodwin's only goal of the game. Andy Harper. We've seen sides turn around matches in the second half. We saw it yesterday as well with Melbourne City. But Melbourne Victory, do they have what it takes to do it here in front of a sold-out Cooper Stadium?
Well, they haven't shown it so far this season. And almost alarmingly, Robbie, when the point was made pre-game that we're almost halfway through the campaign, I think, like, where's that gone? And still there aren't a lot of really consistent form lines that have developed through the season. It's still so inconsistent. You take probably Auckland and Sydney out of that. There's still time for teams to build their case. The case so far for victory is that it's been pretty stop-start and yet really to come from behind. Going to have to do that here on a night that will be for the very good numbers of travelling Victory fans if they can achieve that.
It really is an unpredictable, even competition this year. You'd be surprised, Andy, if I told you that Auckland are top of the table. They've won 1 of their last 4. And they look very much, on their day, one of the strongest teams in the competition. But on current form, it's Wellington Phoenix down in, what is it, 10th place, who have picked up more points over the last month than the league leaders. So it is quite the incredible season we are witnessing in the Isuzu UTE A-League competition. One that seems to suggest that if you want to win the championship, well, then you have to be in form come May. Get yourself into the top 6, which is the prize for the winner today, and then do your best in the finals. White gives chase and gets there. Dizelle all the way back to Smits. Lockie Jackson helped on by Denny Jonro. Now Johnny Yull. He was one of the real catalysts in that first half, provided the assist, his 2nd of the season for Craig Goodwin. He still had plenty to do. Dizelle turns and faces forward. Here is Goodwin, closed down quickly by Insera. Little touch. Ooh, Goodwin went flying in on the young fullback. Velupale back for Louis Dorigo. Kikianis clears. Oh, and Riak gives it away cheaply. Oh, there's some real intensity in the challenges at the moment. Anselmo with a measured ball for Giselle. Here's Anselmo again. Looks up. Johnny Yull. Denny Jonro slowly limps back into position. Melbourne Victory with a very high line. They really compressed the space there in the middle of the park. Now they go long. Goodwin's onside. Wachowski comes, and it's just a little too heavy. It was a long period of possession for Adelaide, and Melbourne Victory almost gave it straight back again. As it is, Mata finds Santos. He's not afraid to shoot Santos. He gets into that position. Oh, balls for Valupale. He's missed it. Well, the goal looked as though it opened up for him. And Nishan Valupale couldn't steer it inside that far post.
Well, the excellent defensive effort from Bart Vreens nearly came and brought Adelaide unstuck, because on halfway, his attempted intercept rebounds to Juan Mata, who released Santos. Was excellent. And it was all business for Melbourne Victory until it gets to Nishan Valupale with the goal at his mercy. He shot and missed to conclude the first half, and really and truly it should be 1-1. He should have finished that chance.
They concede more shots than any other side in the competition, Adelaide, so Victory will feel very much in this contest. And Selmo, he shoots at the other end. Wachowski low down to his right.
Craig Goodwin was asking for it. A lot of people were seeing if Anselmo had the Brazilian backheel in his locker to reward the overlapping run, or Goodwin would have been in on goal.
White again. He's done well alongside Duzel in the absence of Ethan Alleginch, who may not have been had the Olyroos been eliminated from the under-23 Asian Cup back for this game, but they now play Korea Republic on Tuesday. Let's hit the hand of Ajak Riak, and the referee gives the free kick.
He's been a handful. Shown that he takes a fair bit to deal with, but he's got to be better with the ball. And when he's got that in him and can settle, he's going to be a great solution, contributor for Adelaide. Great chance put onto him by Johnny Young in the first half, which he couldn't maximise.
Kikianis. It's a good ball for Johnny Yull. Freens. Long towards Anselmo. Valupale settles things with Victory. Now, can Victory string a few passes together? Genre forced to go first time. There's plenty of pressure in the midfield, but Valupale has got away. Mata outside with Santos. Back for Mata. The cross, it's a good ball. Smits the save, the follow-up. Valupale, another save from Josh Smits. Well, only Andrew Redmayne's made more saves than Smits this season.
Delightful from Juan Mata. And it was Kikianis just saving the day in the end, nearly getting in the way, and it's Valupale again. As expected of Valupale then. It was good scrambling, defending. It didn't quite sit for him, but nevertheless, Victory have found a way through twice in quick succession. Adelaide on notice.
Duzel looked up, there was no one running ahead of him. All the way back to his goalkeeper again. White with Barnett. And Selmo, the touch, he was caught late. Referee says nothing untoward about that Lockie Jackson challenge. Virgos. He's barely had a sighting, Nikos Virgos. Victory's number 9. Valupale again, trying to get away from Kitto. Mata back out. Oh, and that's turned over. Another chance for Ajak Riak to stretch his legs. One-on-one with Esposito. And Selmo in the middle. Johnny Yull arriving. Here's Goodwin. Goodwin still. And And Victory got enough numbers back.
Well, he looked and learned, Jack Riat. He looked and learned from when the last time the ball was in this part of the field with the Brazilian Anselmo. Slightly different scenario. The consistent factor was Craig Goodwin bearing down on the left as an overlap option, and Riak fed the captain. Finish off from there. In that sense, a good recovery from Victory's defence.
Now Craig Goodwin with the corner. In it comes. Good ball near post. Johnny Yull can't get there. Genro towards Mata. Duzel with the first challenge, and he hairs after as it heads out of play off Nikos Virgos. Minutes played at Cooper's. Both coaches have players warming up behind the goals. Neither team forced into a change so far, and often they will wait for their opponents to make a move to see if the game needs changing. Certainly the initiative for that has to sit with Arthur Dillis, whose side are trailing by a goal to nil. Goodwin again. Anselmo. He's a real nuisance, Anselmo. Perhaps he could have released first time though. Ryan White wins it off for Lupulay. White straightening up, just ran straight into Josh Insera. It's a bit like a demolition derby at times. I guess that's what part of what an original rivalry should bring to the table. And you can see tempers starting to fray a little bit. Nikos Virgos not happy.
Yeah, he's firing up a bit, which is great. I think that's a good bit of defending there from Kikianis. So 3 times, is it? I've been put to the ground. Is that?
10, I think. 3, yes.
Is that what he was saying? I've really enjoyed Ryan White tonight as well. Nathan Alagic, the captain of the under-23s, doing well at that tournament at the moment. But I tell you, he and Duzel, I'm talking Ryan White and Duzel, continue on this form because I think they've both been excellent. Ryan White has patrolled that midfield.
Mata, good switch, nice control for Lupulay. Lupulay, oh, that was heading inside that far corner. Santos back for Dorigo. They're starting to get a little closer.
Well, as the ball comes square, it's a good interception again, nicely set up by Santos, and there's only the width of a corn chip from Dorigo there, wide.
Looking to score against his former club. Johnny Yull can't get there. Santos beats him to it, looks up. Freens watchful. Barnett gets it back from Duzel. Well, Dylan Parias won't be back this season to compete for that right back position, but there's Panache Madana there. They do have options. Johnny Yull is going to be faced with Dakuli, back from the Asian Cup. Ajak, oh, he almost got the better of Wachowski there. We've got Juan Muñiz also on the bench, so they've got competition for places, which is what you want.
Jay Barnett has been around the league, this club and Victory, for a number of years. There's nothing to suggest on this performance tonight that you just wouldn't slot him in at right fullback. Stay there, Jay. He's so versatile, perhaps been part of his issue, being considered consistently for a particular slot, but he's been great tonight. And he's not an easy person to deal with, Santos. Tricky, fast.
Quite direct as well. He wants to get in front of goal. He's not afraid to shoot. He's the second highest number of efforts on goal of any Victory player, just behind Nikos Virgos. Here's Esposito, the young defender. He might have a pop. He does so, but that perhaps also reflects a little bit of lack of ideas or lack of options up front, or perhaps just a youngster that's getting frustrated at the back.
Well, there was no balance when he set himself finally. He did have time to set himself, back the ambition. Happy to do that, I'm sure, Arthur Dillis. But get yourself set, got the chance, and he was never balanced, didn't look at least to me.
They've given it back high up the pitch. Santos, oh, he's gone down. And the referee says that was a dive. Jay Barnett letting Santos know about it, and the Brazilian is walking away rather sheepishly as well.
Not even mounting a defence. What a game the referees had tonight. Victory fans thinking this is a penalty. But there's no contact from Van Greens. Didn't even plead the case. Santos.
And even a little shake of the hand. A little professional admiration, at least, respect between the two.
Well, if I can go into bat slightly for the Brazilian, I'm not even sure if that was contrived. I'm not complaining with the yellow card. I just think it's a reflex action. Anticipating the contact, it moved so quickly. He was sporting enough to not even suggest that the ref for a second got it wrong. It's reflex as much as anything, but correctly punished.
Genro. Nice touch for Lupale. Here's Mata. He's got Santos and Virgos in the middle. Goes looking for Josh Insera. It's just overhit. He's done well, Josh Insera, but he's only kept it in for Johnny Yull in the end. Riak. Strong again from Ryan White. Well, this is his breakthrough season, from what we've seen so far at least. As you mentioned already, Andy Hart, we're only halfway through.
I think he's excellent, Ryan White.
Oh, and there's Kikianis diving in.
It's a yellow card, fair enough too. Kikianis showing the respect that Juan Mata deserves. Okay, I've cut you off at the knees. And I do realise who I've just done that to.
Fourth yellow card of the season for Pana Kikianis. So one more and he would be suspended. Dorigo, Arthur Dillis telling him to move away towards the edge of the box for that second ball. Means that Duzel has to follow him. Mata. Juan Mata delivering. Ball deep back post. Jackson. There it is again. On the turn, Nikos Virgos. Can't keep the shot down.
Well, Jackson did excellently on the back post. And he drifts wide, unchecked at that point, beats Jay Barnett. That's not an easy situation for Virgos, but this is a striker's moment. Control, turn, shoot in the box. Not up to it on that occasion.
You have to be careful though, Adelaide. They're starting to invite a lot of pressure. Juan Mata, Velupale. Well, that cross needed to be better. Adelaide can try and break. They have to be careful though. Victory in this second half, as they were in the latter stages of the first, and they couldn't find a way through. They're just starting to tighten the screw. Eight shots to 2 in the second half in Melbourne Victory's favour.
This is the scenario that confronts a lot of teams. You know, incursion, 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 side on goal, side on goal, side on goal. then you concede.
Let's head down to Max Burgess on the sidelines. Max.
Boys, I just wanted to know, I wanted to ask a question to Harps. I've seen Craig Goodwin. Hang on, let's let this play out. I'll come back to you.
Riak on the charge, and Selmo. Back with Johnny Yull, who's switched flanks with Craig Goodwin. Running it in Sarah. Yull into the area, well defended, corner to follow.
That was my question. Goodwin and Yull, they've switched. Yull had such a big influence in the first half. Hasn't had much to do in the second half. The switching wings, I wanted to know what Harps thinks, especially when you've got Craig Goodwin, who's known for that left boot. He's known for whipping it in from this left-hand side. Switching wings to get the youngster a little bit more in it.
You're suggesting that's what they should do?
That's what they have done.
Well, it's late and it might have just been circumstantial. Craig Goodwin, Adelaide just haven't had a lot of the ball recently. Craig Goodwin, the last couple of attacks have featured him overlapping down the left. He's taking this corner now.
It comes towards the penalty spot. It was more like the 6-yard area. It was a good delivery, just a little deep. Jackson, first time ball, Valupale. And now Nishan Valupale with the opportunity, and he's put it wide again. The victory captain with a huge chance, and the travelling supporters cannot believe it.
Well, the subs to be made might have been called offside anyway, which will spare perhaps the blushes of Nishan Valupale. So 5 changes in personnel. Robbie, you can rifle through those.
Well, for Melbourne victory first, Jelassic, Reese and Grimaldi coming on. Nishan Valupale is making way, so is Santos. And the third player to come off is Nikos Virgos, so a full new front line. While for Adelaide, Joey Garuccio, who scored with his first touch of A-League football in New Zealand against Wellington, he comes into the game. And there's a first ever A-League appearance for the 19-year-old Brodie Burkett with the number 35 on his back. So a massive moment for that youngster from McLaren Vale, just outside of Adelaide. He's got Ryan Kiddo that drives him the hour and a half to training to and from every day. 19-year-old forward who scored 11 goals in 17 NPL appearances for the reserves last season in NPL South Australia. That's 90 minutes to training and 90 minutes back, by the way, for Ryan Kiddo and Brodie Burkett.
I asked Ryan Kiddo about that drive. I said, are you a big podcast man? What do you do? And he said, to be honest, not really. I just listen to the radio. There's nothing more to it.
Secrets, the simple things. Here's Goodwin. Goodwin, and now Kiddo! Speak of the devil. Ryan Kiddo, second of the season. He's been working on his celebration as well. They've emptied the bench. It's a full house at Cooper's, and they are on their feet for a second time this evening. And it's the veteran, Ryan Kiddo, who's old enough to be Brodie Burkett's dad, who he's just seen come on. But it's he that is celebrating Adelaide's second of the night.
Well, plenty of space on the Harvey Norman replay out on the left flank. And the old-timers link. And that might be an old person's habit listening to the radio, but he's on the right frequency there, Ryan Kiddo, as he combines with his skipper, who scored one tonight and puts on the second. I'm not sure if that was the intention. He was about to shoot with his right, Craig Goodwin perhaps, but Kiddo was having none of it. And Melbourne victory have huffed and puffed. They've got sights on goal. They just couldn't hit the target. And Ayrton Andrioli leaps to punch the air because as sure as the day is long, Adelaide were going to get this second. And Kitto does just that for the Reds.
He did have a goal against Melbourne victory, Ryan Kitto. He's been around long enough. He's only... Oh. Is it offside? It is.
After factual review, there is an offside in the lead-up. Final decision, offside.
Is that took a while, didn't it?
It did. I wonder who was offside.
That's a new metaphor now, not as long as a day. But where's the offside here? Craig Goodwin bounces offside there. There it is. It's a kneecap.
Not much in it. Kitto's ball to Goodwin. I was just going to say, Ryan Kitto has scored against everyone in the A-League except Auckland and Adelaide, but his goal against Melbourne victory came when he was a Newcastle Jet. Never scored against victory for Adelaide, and he still hasn't.
Well, that did rather clear cut offside. It did seem to take a while, but we've got a new entry into the lexicon. Took about as long as a VAR offside review.
At Coopers.
At Coopers. Well, it's a reprieve for victory. Very clearly a reprieve. They make something of it. The fans are really agitated, frustrated. Arthur Dillis has gone for a new set of dentures because the toothless attack has not delivered, and plenty of opportunities to do so.
Oh, look at those two chances for Nishan Velupillay in the second half. Massive opportunities which he failed to put away before making way. The Big Blue is coming up on Monday the 26th of January. Kikianis all the way back. It's at Amy Park. It's going to be a massive occasion. Victory versus Sydney FC. The big games are coming. And another nice touch from Arthur Dillis to give Josh Insera the captain's armband, the kid that's come through the ranks in the absence once Velupillay came off, because there aren't too many other victory through and through players out there. Here's White. Nice moment for Josh Insera, even if he too did spend time at the Melbourne City Academy. Time running out for the visitors. Adelaide won the last meeting between these two here at Coopers. They do have the advantage at home. 14 wins here in Adelaide against 9 for Melbourne victory. But Melbourne victory dominant in the overall head-to-head. 32 wins to 21. So this would be going some way to help squaring that ledger. Kitto thought he'd taken a huge step to doing just that. Goodwin. Ball over the top for Burkett. Can't get there. Throw goes Adelaide's way. Kitto looking for Goodwin. Craig Goodwin still. Burkett. Oh, he didn't need a second invitation, did he?
Got that under control very swiftly indeed. Goodwin turning out of a very difficult situation with aplomb.
Craig Goodwin with the first corner on that far side. Gets a round of applause. Now it's going to be an in-swinger. This is the type of corner with which he found Ryan Kitto on the opening day of the season against Sydney FC. Well, on that occasion, couldn't find Vreens, and here goes Keegan Jelassic on the charge. He's got Jing Reese, his 50th A-League appearance. Reese fires the follow-up, and Matt Grimaldi, his first victory goal was a winner in the derby, which he celebrated at home, and now he's got his second for the team he used to support as a kid, and he goes and celebrates with the travelling supporters. Matt Cooper's victory, they were given the reprieve, they've made the most of it.
From a corner too for Adelaide, unchallenged Wachowski on the Harvey Norman replay, very quick release, and Jelassic off the bench, sizes this up beautifully, threads the ball through to Jing Reese, and a golden moment for him because he strikes this really clearly. Nevertheless, Smits should have snuffed out the chance. It's a rare error from the Adelaide keeper, and Grimaldi puts a smile on the victory travelling fans' faces. It was doom and gloom at that corner of the Vidmar stand, watching their hopes evaporate. Adelaide's second goal rubbed out, and finally they find the back of the net. And it's not been the hottest of original rivalries, because we've seen plenty of that in recent years. It's still been a great game, but 1-1 with 15 plus to play sets up for a grandstand finish here.
Here is Jing Reese, still looking for that first Melbourne victory goal himself. But he played a huge part in that one. And they went from doom and gloom to absolute limbs when that ball went in. The scenes, and they've taken it quickly. Mata. Now, is that a back pass? Mata seems to think so.
Well, sloppy trying to play the ball out. Even a harsh call on the back pass. Adelaide need to stabilise now.
The timing of that goal just before the final 15 minutes, which have been problematic for Adelaide. But here's Burkett, the youngster on debut, streaming forward. He waits, holds up play. Garuccio. An Adelaide name in football, Garuccio. Now Kitto. Well, he thought he spotted an opening.
We're just watching Brody Burke move. He's out of the Johnny Yull Jovanovic mould, isn't he?
It looks like Johnny Yull.
You
Looks like
have
there
to
are
do
two of them out there now.
you have to take a double take and do a double take. And that's a sidebar, because that was a good chance for Ryan Kitto. Very, very keen to restore his name in the goal scorers list.
Renaud Piscopo is going to enter the fray, and fray very much it is at the moment. This one superbly set up. Comes on for Denny Genreau, who toiled hard in that deep-lying midfield position. Piscopo can bring some creativity and an eye for goal to that position.
He got a very simple message from his coach as he walked on. There's a goal in this for you.
Well, there's definitely a goal left in this one for somebody. You can feel it. It's in the air. It's starting to get dark. The lights are on. The crowd is on the edge of its seat. And Renaud Piscopo trying to turn those words into a prophecy immediately. Burkett again. Here's Goodwin. Nobody is thinking about leaving early from this one. Goodwin. Back with Kitto. Adelaide back on the front foot. Kitto, it's a great run. Ryan Kitto across the face of goal, and nobody could get the touch. Joey Garuccio lunging for it.
What a chance. Brilliant burst from Kiddo. It was a lovely. He just stood him up completely. And Sarah maybe weighed down by the captain's armband, but he left him in his wake. Wonderful chance created by Kiddo.
Grimaldi once again making a huge impact off the bench, and perhaps the scene is set for another unlikely scoring source. Here's White. White still going. Oh! Well, he got his first here against Melbourne City. Another last week, and he wasn't far away from adding number 3 there.
Oh, he's had a fine game. Sized this up nicely. Burkett to his right, but fancied his own chance. Would have been an impressive double for him. City at home, victory at home. His goal against City was excellent. And that wouldn't have been far behind.
Burkett's touch is good. He rides the challenge. He's gone past Traore. Burkett still trying to stand up Esposito. He had Johnny Yull. Almost like two terrible twins in attack for Adelaide. He used him as a decoy. Well won back by Barnett.
And it's turned players getting tired. An extra 2 points on offer for the winning team, clearly. Has turned the game into one of transition.
Yull gets it back from Giselle. Johnny Yull now with Craig Goodwin. Onto the left, across the face of goal again for the second time in 3 minutes. And the crowd are living, rising with each opportunity. This is what football delivers. Edge of the seat stuff. Johnny Yull again. Trying to curl one to try and catch out Wachowski.
It wouldn't have been out of place for Yull to score a specky tonight. Second time again, Garuccio just nudged out of it. Good defending from Lockie Jackson.
While you're watching that replay, Jing Reese almost burst through at the other end.
He's just signed for the Western Sydney Wanderers and hasn't been here for a couple of years otherwise before that, but that's Hiroshi Ibasuki territory. Right on an edge, this one.
Jelassic being held, dragged back by Craig Goodwin. Instructions for his younger teammates, Johnny Yull and Burkett. He sets the bar very high, Craig Goodwin. Nash Madana has just been told to sit back down and wait a little bit longer on that Adelaide bench. Looked like he was preparing to come into the game. Nearly 15,000 in attendance. Sell-out sign up outside Coopers for this one. Highest average crowds since the 2014-15 season at Coopers this year. Garuccio against Traore. Esposito there to help out. And now Grimaldi, the hero for the moment for Melbourne victory. Gets it back, Grimaldi. Can go again. He's got Jelassic and Reese ahead of him. There's the yellow card inbound for Ryan White.
Well, Piscopo just a little clip over the top. Nice exchange with Grimaldi. White making really good ground to get back. And in the end, thinking that's enough for me. This one's going to stop here.
Five wins and a draw when scoring first this season, Adelaide. It might be a second draw.
And victory on the edge of a comeback win, which is as rare as the $3 note for them. A great tonic for the visitors if they can conjure that in the 10 minutes or so that remains, including stoppages.
Mata, ball back post, Jackson. The header was blocked, Jelassic straight onto it for victory. Well, they did it against Perth, but they did it a lot earlier. That come from behind, it's the only come from behind victory for them this season. But we were starting to wonder where it was going to come from here before the substitutes. Reese and Grimaldi combined. Juan Mata is still out there as well, so the threat is very much alive for Adelaide. Foul by Jackson, yellow card for him too.
He's had a good game tonight, otherwise. A couple of desperate moments where he's had to take evasive action. This was one of them, and correctly penalised. Heavy touch from him. Otherwise been very good, Lockie Jackson.
Five minutes in regulation time. White for Goodwin. Early ball in Sarah is starting to struggle a little bit. The cutback from Kitto, nobody there. Mata's touch with Jelassic. Jing Reese does well. He's big and strong, Jing Reese. He bundles Bart Vreens out of the way. Here's Piscopo. Victory on the charge. Piscopo still trying to bend it. He had options up there and his teammates are letting him know it as well.
Great work from Jing Reese. Bart Vreens has been one of the picks for the game of the match. Jing Reese gets the ball out to Piscopo, and got no beef with someone having a crack. The criticism, if there is one, of Reno Piscopo was from the moment he picked that ball up, he was going to shoot. Didn't matter what anyone else had done or where they were, he was going to create a space to shoot. I just think he might have at least been able to be a bit cat and mousey with it.
Good use of the body from Burkett. Burkett against Esposito. He tries to produce a snapshot out of nothing.
Here's another one. Here's another one. You're on the edge of your seat when he gets the ball. He's been fantastic off the bench.
It looks like he's absolutely loving it out there. Like a fish in water.
Yeah, well, I've got to say I'm enjoying watching him.
Now Goodwin again. Fantastic tifo at that end of the ground, set the scene just before kick-off for this one. And now Giselle robbed by Piscopo. Jelassic. So quick. The victory attack now. There's plenty of pace in there. Mata was looking to release Piscopo. Now he wants to take the throw quickly with Jelassic. He does so. Jelassic. Oh, it's all opened up for him. Now Piscopo. Mata for Grimaldi. Grimaldi! He's done it! And now he can go and celebrate with those supporters and stay there and enjoy it. A double from the young Victory fan, now on the pitch. And he had plenty of work to do when he was found by Juan Mata. And this is a night now that those travelling supporters may never forget.
Well, Archie Thompson, I can report, has just lost his mind. Jay Barnett just switched off momentarily on the Harvey Norman replay at right fullback. Juan Mata, just unbelievable on the rebound. He's somehow has worked out exactly where that ball needs to go. It's not just a double, Robbie. It's a hell of a bloody finish. In one of the biggest matches of the season, when you're on the canvas, Adelaide an offside decision away from going 2 up. And Grimaldi's come off the bench to score 2, the second of which is a blitzer. Incredible finish. Incredible reaction from Juan Mata. And Adelaide licking their wounds. I'm sure they can barely believe it.
Juan Mata has signalled to the bench that he needs to make way. Razmovsky was about to come on. He's been told to sit back down. Now, there's some confusion
Not
on the
another
bench.
offside. Is it another offside?
The referee's coming across to have a look.
Well, offside's delivered in the box by decision, so it's a foul.
No, unless there's someone standing in the...
And he decides the goalkeeper was... Right, okay.
And it comes down to interpretation. McNulty wants to come across and
I'll be looking over your shoulder.
I want to have a look at this too.
You're not going to kill my party. What a goal it was.
Let's see.
Well, this is incredible, this pass. Not from Piscopo. Obviously, it's not the pass. From Juan Mata makes that size. There's Jelisic. Offside position. Jeez. I mean, that's going into the roof of the net. Has the keeper got any chance with that? It's a committee meeting.
Now, was he involved in the play? Did he deny Josh Smits a sighting of the ball? They're looking, you can see they're looking at that behind the goal angle on the screen there to see where the ball leaves the foot.
Max Burford in the background, just
listening
doing whatever lip reading he can.
I'm doing my best. If you guys could just be quiet for a second.
I don't know how you can take that goal out.
Now, is he interfering? That's the question.
The question he's just asked is, are you happy with that line of vision? And there was a non-committal shrug before they went to the next angle.
The question is the offside player in Smits's line of vision? Smits made no complaint himself.
Is he stopping, and in a practical sense, is he stopping the keeper from making a play at the ball? I don't think he ever had a chance with that, Smits. Anyway, here we go. Stay tuned.
Daniel Elder and Sean Evans in the VAR room. Well, if we're having an announcement, it means...
After the on-field review, there is a play in the line of vision. Final decision is offside.
And having just seen Archie Thompson and the Melbourne Victory players celebrating now, it's the other 13,000 in Coopers who are enjoying it even more.
Brucey Jitte just lost his mind. Look.
He's got Bart Breens in his line of vision as well.
Yeah.
I mean, who's not in an offside position, obviously.
I don't know, that's a material factor. And I think your comment nailed it. The keeper doesn't complain, and they're the most complaining people on fields, goalkeepers.
Now,
anyway, adds to the drama.
Juan Mata is still asking just what was going on. He wants an explanation. Now, the referee doesn't necessarily have to give one while the game is going on.
Well, the fact is he has given an explanation. I don't think it holds a lot of water, to be frank, but poor old Grimaldi. What a goal to have rubbed out, and what a moment. And it's back square, and there's still time for more drama.
2 disallowed goals in the second half here. Well, Mata and Dillis absolutely furious, and poor old Daniel Cook, the 4th official, is receiving the brunt of it at the moment.
Wow.
Victory feeling very hard done by.
With these controversial runs, Robbie, it sometimes helps to think, what if they view the video and decide there's no material impact? Does anyone really complain? Well, the Adelaide fans are very relieved at the outcome, but at any rate, on we go. 7 minutes of stoppage time.
Exactly, there's still plenty of time. There might even be more than that, because we didn't get going again until 92 and a half. Stella, Dorigo straight into the action. Bouncing off Adelaide players, his former teammates who were probably coming through the youth academy when he was a first-team player. Johnny Yull back with Kikianis, who tried to remonstrate as well. Here's Kitto. Adelaide looking to pull themselves back up again. It's now them that have been given a reprieve, a huge reprieve. Goodwin wrestled to the ground by Insera. We said there was still time for this one to get spicy. If you're new to the original rivalry, this is just another chapter in the history of this fixture. And it's gentlemen as you were, 7th and 8th on the table. A point apiece for the moment that does little to change either side except keep them right in the mix. Madana is on, it's Barnett who's gone off from that right back position, and Giselle replaced by Muniz, the former Spanish youth international, standing over this free kick. In it comes Muniz, not a bad ball, good defensive header. Tegan Jelassic. Here's Panache Madana. It's out for a throw from Burkett. Madana. Muniz wants it straight back from Johnny Yull. And he gets it. The Spaniard's left foot. How about that for a pass? Kikianis. His turn to go down. Well defended, Esposito.
Well, just too heavy on the touch, Kikianis. The ball from Muniz. What a left foot he's got. And it prized open a chance. Kikianis not good enough to make something of it. What next here at Cooper's?
Joey Garuccio up against Xavier Stella, the youngster who's come into the contest. It's his debut season in the A-League as well. This is those moments where the learning curve gets a little bit steeper for the kids. Muniz, it's a good ball for Garuccio. Just couldn't get it out from under his feet. Muniz goes again. Drives it in at pace, the header! It's in! Unbelievable header! Adelaide celebrate, and it's Ryan Kitto. Denied by an offside. Incredible scenes. 97th minute, just seconds remaining. Juan Muniz with the ball in. And if Melbourne Victory were feeling hard done by, well, now they are absolutely ropeable out there.
Well, they were back. They were dead. Victory, they were back. Then they were in front. Then they were shattered. And Juan Muniz on the Harvey Norman replay. This is line ball as well for offside. I think it's going to stick. The ball flies out. Second time of asking. Ball whipped in from the Spaniard. And it's Ryan Kitto who does get his name back on the score sheet. Please God, never take this fixture away from us at Coombers. Victory visiting Adelaide. It delivered again. Controversy, aggro, good goals, good football, last minute thrills and spills. Incredible.
And Ryan Kitto wasn't to be denied. A goal against Melbourne Victory in his beloved red jersey. He left it late, but he's got it. And now how much time does the referee add on? They are cheering every challenge.
And it just makes that Victory disallowed goal even more hotly contested now. But it's Adelaide's night with a couple of seconds remaining.
Reese, the flick on. Lockie Jackson stayed forward now. He was in an offside position there. He's got to wait till it's touched. Well, what desperate, desperate drama. The A-League At it again.
Look at these Reds fans. Nothing means more to them. I won't say hosting or even welcoming, than bringing victory to Coopers and doing them over in what might be one of the most cruel set of circumstances.
Well, this is going to be one of the biggest chapters in this rivalry, and there have been some big ones. Drama, never far, the little niggle, controversy, and still we go on. We're into the 100th minute of the 68th original rivalry match, and from minute number one, neither side has taken a backward step. And for the third time this season, it's a stoppage time goal at home at that end of the ground at Coopers in front of the Red Army that looks like it might deliver all 3 points. And when you see this, you can start to understand why they're the best home side in the competition. Insera, Piscopo with Grimaldi, Breens clears, still we go on, or not, there it is, release for the 15,000 in attendance at Coopers Stadium. The veterans, Craig Goodwin and Ryan Kitto, the heroes for Adelaide. Disappointment and a bad taste in the mouth for Arthur Dillis and Melbourne Victory, who thought they had their own homegrown hero of their own in Matt Grimaldi, who equalised and then thought he'd won it, only for it to be snatched away by a controversial VAR call. And now the players are looking to settle a few scores out there. Tempers fraying, because this one was an absolute nerve shredder for those on the bench, for those on the pitch, and those of us lucky enough to be here, for you at home watching. Arthur Dillis gets a yellow. He wants to continue the conversation. What a remarkable night of football. The type of nights that only football can deliver in this country. And the original rivalry sits right near the top of that pile as well. All finished in front of a pulsating Coopers Stadium crowd. Adelaide 2, Melbourne Victory 1.
I think we told you this last night over there. Sheffield fans, they play after the game.
Well, Andy Harper, the winners are grinners, and on nights like this, it's from ear to ear.
Well, I mean, both teams at various times felt the depths of despair at a game that had gone. The Victory, of course, feeling that more acutely now. It's just total jubilee.